I was just 8 years old. For someone to look down at a young 8-year-old and tell them they're not going to achieve anything in life, they must be in a really bad place.
As Lewis began to win, the fact that he was the only black face on the track.
I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to. We have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
Hamilton has more wins than any other driver in Formula One history.
Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton.
Ask anyone on the street to name an F1 driver, and odds are they'll say Lewis Hamilton. Throughout sports, some figures acquire a reach and popularity that goes far beyond the normal boundaries of their league or championship. In Formula One, no driver has achieved that status quite the way Lewis Hamilton has. His success on the track, 7 Drivers' Championships, founded him as one of Britain's greatest ever and first black sporting stars. But off-track, Hamilton quickly became one of F1's most instantly recognizable figures. He was a celebrity long before Netflix's Drive to Survive made household names out of the majority of the F1 grid. One who wielded his influence to address causes that had nothing to do with sports. But today we'll touch on the day and the moments that made Lewis Hamilton what he is today. It all started in 1995 when a young boy approached Ron Dennis, the longtime boss of McLaren, at an awards dinner. The 10-year-old boldly asked for his contract info and told Dennis he wanted to race for him in F1 someday, and the rest is history. Rewinding 2 years earlier, young Hamilton's journey to Formula One had begun at age 8 when he started competing in British karting championships. He quickly racked up trophies including the Step Karting Championship, Champions of the Future, and the Super 1 Series. But the real path to F1 began in 1998 when, at just 13, he became the youngest driver ever contracted by a team, joining the McLaren Driver Development Support Program. The same year, he moved up to Junior Intercontinental A-Level Racing and finished second overall in the McLaren Mercedes Championship of the Future. In 1999, he stepped up to Intercontinental A and won the Italian Industrials Championship. In his second to last year in karting, Hamilton dominated the European Formula A Series, winning all 4 rounds, and also claimed the World Cup Championship in Japan and the second round of the Italian Open. Whereas in 2001, Hamilton wrapped up his karting career and moved to open-wheel racing, joining the British Formula Renault Winter Series with Manor and finishing 7th in his debut season. The next year, in 2002, he competed in Formula Renault UK, securing 3rd place in the championship and also raced in the Formula Renault 2000 Euro Cup, finishing 5th. In 2003, Hamilton dominated Formula Renault UK, winning 9 of the last 10 races and taking the title with the championship in hand. He skipped the last 2 races to make his debut in the British Formula 3 Championship. However, this move was unlucky as he retired in the first race due to a puncture and crashed with teammate Tor Graves in the second, ending up in the hospital. Despite the setback, Hamilton continued with Manor in the Euro Series F3, winning his debut race at the Norris Ring Street Track and later taking victories at the Bahrain F3 Super Prix and the Macau F3 Grand Prix. His impressive performances earned him a chance to test an F1 car for the first time with McLaren in late 2004. The following year, he joined ASM in the Euro Series, dominating with 15 wins out of 20 races. He also won the prestigious Marlboro Masters of Formula 3 at Zandvoort, showcasing his undeniable talent. Despite his incredible success in junior racing, Hamilton was still searching for a way into Formula One. To boost his chances, he joined GP2 with ASM's sister team ART for the 2006 season. ART had already launched the career of Hamilton's future teammate and rival Nico Rosberg. Hamilton faced a tough field of future F1 drivers, including Nelson Piquet Jr. and Timo Glock. Early battles with Piquet Jr. set the tone for this season, but Hamilton hit his stride, securing his first win in the 5th race at the Nürburgring despite a pit lane speeding penalty. He doubled down with another win that weekend. He added more victories at Monte Carlo and Silverstone and pulled off an amazing recovery drive in Istanbul. Hamilton nailed the GP2 title in a strange twist at the penultimate race in Monza, getting a bonus point for the fastest lap after Giorgio Pantano was penalized for a yellow flag violation. With his winning streak continuing, Hamilton was ready to take the final step and move up to Formula One. After winning the GP2 title in 2006, Hamilton burst onto the Formula One scene in 2007 by joining McLaren. This opportunity came after Juan Pablo Montoya left for NASCAR and Kimi Raikkonen moved to Ferrari. Hamilton faced competition from Pedro de la Rosa, who had subbed in for Montoya the previous year. McLaren hadn't started a season with a rookie since 1993, so it wasn't guaranteed that Hamilton would get the seat. But team boss Ross Dennis ultimately chose Hamilton, saying he's been in the family for a long time and he deserves the opportunity we're giving him. Teaming up with two-time and defending world champion Fernando Alonso, Hamilton quickly proved he belonged with the best. He stood on the podium in his debut race and won 4 races in his rookie season, including Montreal and Indianapolis. Hamilton also set a record with 9 consecutive podium finishes from his first race. However, the dream partnership with Alonso only lasted 1 season. Tensions between the two drivers grew, leading Alonso to terminate his contract at the end of the year. Despite the internal drama, Hamilton had an incredible start, leading the World Championship by 12 points at one stage. The relationship sourced after several incidents, including Alonso holding up Hamilton in the pit lane during qualifying after Hamilton allegedly ignored team orders. Hamilton continued to push for the driver's title, looking strong against both his teammate and Ferrari rival Raikkonen. But a series of mishaps in the final 2 races, including sliding off at the pit entry in China and the gearbox issue in Brazil, cost him valuable points. In a dramatic finish, both McLaren drivers missed out on the world title by just 1 point to Raikkonen, restricting Hamilton the chance to become the first driver to win the F1 title in his rookie year. In 2008, Hamilton kept impressing everyone with 5 wins and 10 podium finishes. However, he also faced his share of critics who accused him of arrogance and dangerous driving. Heading into the final race of the season, Hamilton was in a championship showdown with Ferrari's Felipe Massa. He had a 7-point lead in the standings, but the race at Interlagos was a real thriller due to changing weather. Massa started from pole on a wet track, while Hamilton began in 4th. Massa crossed the finish line first, so Hamilton needed to finish at least 5th to win his first F1 world title. With light rain falling, the stage was set for one of F1's most dramatic finishes. In the final corner of the last lap, Hamilton managed to pass Timo Glock, who was struggling for grip on dry weather tires in the wet conditions. As Hamilton crossed the line in 5th place, the Ferrari garage, already celebrating what they thought was Massa's championship win, quickly fell into despair. Hamilton became the sport's youngest world champion, a record he held until Sebastian Vettel broke it in 2010. Like all champions, Hamilton also faced rough paths on the track. Hamilton's 2009 season with McLaren proved to be a tough one, especially with Braun GP making a big splash. The season started on a sour note when Hamilton was disqualified from the Australian Grand Prix. He had provided misleading information to race stewards after Jarno Trulli overtook him under the safety car, which led to the disqualification. The struggles didn't end there. Hamilton and McLaren couldn't keep up with the dominant pace set by Braun GP. Hamilton managed only 1 win all season. Despite the challenges, he finished the season in 5th place overall, trailing behind drivers from both Braun GP and Red Bull. From 2010 to 2012, Jenson Button was Hamilton's teammate at McLaren, but the team struggled to keep up with Red Bull and Sebastian Vettel's pace. Although Vettel started his dominance, Hamilton had a better year in 2011, leading the championship halfway through with several wins. Yet he ended up finishing 4th overall. The following year was tough for Hamilton. He had multiple crashes and retirements, finishing behind his teammate in the point standing for the first time. Despite winning 3 races, in 2012, McLaren again lagged behind Vettel and Red Bull due to reliability issues. At the end of 2012, Hamilton surprised everyone by announcing he was leaving McLaren, and that's when Mercedes came calling. Hamilton decided to leave the team he'd been with since he was young and take over Michael Schumacher's spot at Mercedes in 2013. A lot of people thought it was a risky move because Mercedes hadn't been doing so well in races, and at first it didn't seem to pay off. Hamilton only won once in his first season with Mercedes at the Hungarian Grand Prix. That year, Mercedes came second in the championship, winning 3 races in total, 1 by Hamilton and 2 by his teammate, Nico Rosberg. But Hamilton did manage to beat his teammate in the points overall. Since turbo hybrid power units came into play in 2014, Hamilton has been on fire in Formula 1, winning almost every driver's title except for one in 2016 when his teammate Nico Rosberg stole the spotlight. The 2016 season was like a rollercoaster ride with Hamilton and Rosberg battling it out on the track. Rosberg had a bit of an edge as Hamilton faced some car troubles, but Mercedes was still way ahead of the competition. They had some epic clashes, like that dramatic crash in Spain where both ended up out of the race while trying to pass each other. Rosberg surprised everyone by hanging up his helmet after winning the title in 2016, leaving Mercedes to sign Valtteri Bottas as Hamilton's new wingman. That year, Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel gave Mercedes a run for their money. Vettel even took a win at the season opener in Australia, but Bottas also showed his skills with wins in Russia and Austria. Hamilton, being Hamilton, secured another victory at his home turf in Silverstone and went on a winning spree after the summer break, taking the checkered flag in Belgium, Singapore, and Italy. That streak led him to his third straight championship win. In 2019, Mercedes kept on rocking, and Hamilton outshone challenges from Bottas and the new Ferrari star Charles Leclerc to secure the title once more with 3 races left in the season. He sealed the deal with a second-place finish in the USA, securing his 6th title. But like many drivers, Hamilton's 2020 season was thrown off by the coronavirus pandemic. He even caught the virus during the Shakir Grand Prix in Bahrain and had to miss a race. Despite a strong comeback from Red Bull and Max Verstappen, Hamilton still managed to bag a record-tying 7th World Championship. And he didn't just stop there. He also smashed the record for the most race wins in F1. In 2020, Hamilton won more than half of the races, including an epic victory at his home Grand Prix. In that race, his tire got punctured on the final lap, and he had to steer the car with just 3 wheels to cross the finish line. However, Mercedes started the 2021 season on the wrong foot after a rough time in preseason testing, which even Toto Wolff called terrible. But things looked up when Hamilton got a front row spot in Bahrain and won the race, beating Verstappen. Red Bull was giving Mercedes a real run for their money, and Hamilton and Verstappen had a fierce battle for the title all year. There were some tense moments, like a crash in the British Grand Prix and another one in Monza. Before the last race in Abu Dhabi, Hamilton and Verstappen were tied in points, each winning a bunch of races. Hamilton seemed set to win his 8th championship, but a late safety car let Verstappen get fresh tires and pass him on the last lap, winning the race and his first F1 title. It caused a big stir, and Hamilton went quiet on social media for a few weeks after that. Oh, and he's a Sir now too, after getting knighted in 2021. In 2022, Hamilton aimed for his 8th World Championship, but his Mercedes car had issues early in the season, making it hard for him to compete for wins. He had some tough weekends and didn't win any races, which was a first for him in Formula 1. Despite the tough season, Hamilton is still chasing that 8th title in 2024. He signed on with Mercedes for a few more months, and he's already set the world abuzz with his transition into Ferrari. When asked about what had changed between signing for Mercedes last summer and opting to join Ferrari, Hamilton explained, "In the summer we signed, and I, at that time, saw my future with Mercedes, but an opportunity came up in the new year and I decided to take it. I feel like it was the hardest decision that I think I've ever had to make. I've been with Mercedes for, I think it's like 26 years. They've supported me, and we've had an incredible journey together. We've created history within the sport, and it's something I take a lot of pride in, and I'm very proud of what we've achieved. But I think ultimately I'm writing my story, and it felt like it was time to start a new chapter. Ferrari will be only the 3rd team of Hamilton's enormous successful F1 career. It could also be the one that elevates his star status to yet another level. Make sure to subscribe for more amazing F1 tales like this."